It has been a while. I am home right now for a few weeks because I had surgery recently, and so I'm recovering from that and I'm missing a bunch of school, but oh well. So I decided to use some of this time to try something new. I'm going to try to start brewing my own kombucha. And I don't have a SCOBY, which is the culture of like bacteria and yeast that you need in order to ferment kombucha. So I'm gonna try to make one from scratch. And I've been watching a bunch of YouTube videos and reading up on it about how to do it, and it seems pretty simple. So yeah, I'm just gonna jump right into that. I haven't been looking at the screen thing and not the camera this entire time, and I'm so sorry. I like kombucha. I don't drink it that often, mostly just because it's kind of expensive and I'm not usually willing to, like, you know, buy a $4 bottle of kombucha with lunch or whatever. I don't know. But making my own kombucha I think will be fun because, one, I like it. I like kombucha. I like how it tastes. It's just a fun drink to have. It's supposed to be really good for you. It's really like healthy for your gut because of the probiotics in it, and you know, I think that's something can always use. And I'd much rather like just get probiotics from like drinking kombucha or eating yogurt and stuff like that rather than having to like take like a probiotic pill every day or something. This is just a lot more like easy to just naturally incorporate into like my diet and just kind of everyday enjoyment, as opposed to like feeling like I have to get in the habit of taking like a medication. And then, you know, making my own I think will be a lot cheaper, and you know, I think it'll just be a fun, maybe new hobby, and we'll see if it goes well, if I like it, if it turns out okay at all. I have high hopes for this, so I'm really hoping that it works. But yeah, so it seems like a really simple process. I've got some tea here. I decided to get some green tea and some black tea because you can use like any kind of caffeinated tea, really. Green tea, I like the idea that, like, you know, green tea is really healthy for you. It's got lots of antioxidants in it, so you're kind of putting some of that into your kombucha. And also I think I would like the flavor of kombucha made with green tea, but also black tea theoretically is the one that's easiest for the SCOBY to like eat and ferment, and like it kind of like makes the process quicker or easier. So especially since I'm very much a beginner, I thought it would be good to mix green and black tea so I get a little bit of both. And then I have a bottle of kombucha here. This is just GT's, just like plain, that's not showing up. Just plain kombucha, unfiltered, raw, and it's hard to really see on the camera, but there's little pieces of like the bacteria and yeast in there, and that will contribute to what will become my own SCOBY. And then just a jar here and a cloth to put over it, which it'll all go into. So let's get started. I'm gonna unwrap these. I hate that they're covered in plastic, but oh well. I wanted to get loose leaf tea as well, but my grocery store had like no loose leaf tea at all. So I'm going with tea bags. Oh well. Alright, so I'm going to take, how do I open this? I'm going to use one black tea bag. And one green tea bag. Okay, so I've got these, and then I'm just going to grab, I boiled some water, and I'm just gonna pour like, I don't know, maybe that much water in there. I want to leave enough room that I'll be able to put this in there as well. I think that should be a decent amount. I'm gonna let that steep for like a long time, probably like 10-20 minutes. Just let it get really good and strong. And then I'm also going to add a little less than a quarter cup of sugar into here. Alright, so my camera battery died, but that's fine because the tea is definitely steeped now and it's not as hot anymore, which is good. We want both of these to be kind of room temperature. This, like, it was cold when I bought it, but it's been out on the counter for several hours now, so it's pretty much room temperature. This is slightly warm, but I think it'll be okay. So I put the sugar in here. I think I got that before the camera died. Yeah, so now I'm going to take out the tea bags. I'm gonna squeeze these. Just get the last bit of caffeine and goodness out of there. And then just, yeah. Okay, and then, oh, this is quite carbonated. I'm actually gonna pour this into here first, just to make sure that everything gets out of here. I want to make sure that I get these little pieces of the like baby scobies kind of that are in there so that they end up in my solution. I think this will fit in here. Might be just a perfect fit. Wow. Amazing. I could not have planned that better. Okay, I'm gonna stir this again, just really gently, make sure it's all incorporated. I don't know. And then I think this is all this needs to be. So you want to cover it with something that, like, you know, will keep dust and flies and stuff out, but like we'll still let it breathe. So I'm just putting this cloth over it. It's kind of big, but that'll also, I guess, be nice because it'll keep it darker, and I guess it likes the dark. So just gonna kind of stick that on there. And now it's pretty much good. So I'm just gonna stick it in a kind of darkish corner of the kitchen, I guess, for probably like 2 weeks, I think is what I've been seeing typically for how long it takes for SCOBY to become really like full and mature. Yeah, and we'll see how it goes. Keep checking in every once in a while and give a little update. But for now, I think it's pretty much good to go. I'm so excited to see how it turns out. So I'm just gonna put this guy kind of in this little dark corner of the kitchen. I got the top wet when I was bringing it over just because I was not careful enough about carrying it. But I'm gonna stick him back there. And then we'll check on him pretty soon. See how it goes. All right, so update on how the SCOBY is doing. It's been about 8 or 9 days. Maybe a couple days longer than that. I haven't really been keeping track. But he's in there, if you can see. He's fallen to the bottom. It was a lot easier to see when he was on top. But you can see like the layer of him in there. He's growing really well. All right, I kind of forgot about the whole kombucha thing for a while because I was back at school and trying to catch up with that, and then I had to leave school again because coronavirus. So this is my SCOBY so far. You can see he's huge. Look at him on the bottom there, and then there's new layers growing on the top. I think he's been in here way too long to use this as the actual like first round or fermentation of the kombucha. So I think I'll use like my SCOBY but start it over because this is super vinegary. So yeah, I guess this is part 1, and then I'll redo the first fermentation process, and then I'll film part 2 and how I decide to flavor it and all of that. So stay tuned. Happy quarantine.